They're coming for you tonight." Mason lived on the edge of town, where the cornfields stretched for miles. It was the kind of place where you never quite felt alone. Even in the daytime, the wind rustling through the leaves sounded like whispers, and the shadows stretching from the trees looked like grasping claws. But Mason liked it that way. He liked feeling like he was on the edge of something, even if he didn't know what. So when he woke up in the middle of the night and his heart was pounding in his chest, he just figured it was another nightmare. He stepped outside for a smoke, hoping the fresh air would clear his head. That's when he saw them. 3 glowing orbs hovering low over the field, like a strange, silent drone. He grabbed his phone, but the second he stepped into its light, the screen went dead in his hand. No light, no signal. Something was off, but he couldn't tell what. The air smelled metallic, sharp. His skin prickled with static. And then, without warning, the orbs sank lower until the corn bent beneath them, and something stepped out. It was tall, skeletal, with limbs that bent the wrong way, and a head that tilted at an unnatural angle as if listening. Mason couldn't move. He wanted to scream, but no sound came out. He realized his body wouldn't respond. It was like invisible strings were holding him upright, forcing him to stay still while the thing took slow, deliberate steps towards him. Its black eyes locked on him, and Mason felt something twist in his gut, like a knot of dread. Then everything went white. He blinked. The porch was gone. He wasn't standing on his welcome mat anymore. He was inside a white, endless room, like a giant, hollowed-out cylinder. He couldn't see the walls or ceiling or floor. There was nothing except for the humming. Shapes moved in the distance, more of them. They were watching him, studying him. One of them leaned close, its face inches from his, and in that instant, Mason felt something inside his mind, searching, pulling memories out one by one like pages from a book. His childhood, his mother's face, his name. Then the voice came, not out loud, but clear as thought. "You will not remember this." Then Mason woke up. He shot up in his bed, heart racing, sheets tangled around his legs. It had to be a nightmare. A crazy, vivid nightmare brought on by a fever dream and too much weed. Except when he pulled up his sleeve, there was a fresh mark burned into his skin, a perfect circle of 3 dots glowing faintly beneath the flesh. Every night the lights come back. Every night he goes back. Mason tried to convince himself it was a nightmare, but the more times he relived it, the more real it felt. The nightmares bled into his waking hours. The whispering corn replaced the birdsong in the daytime, and the grasping shadows stretched further, growing darker. He started seeing the orbs in his peripheral vision, always 3, sometimes more. And when he turned to look at them, they vanished. But then he'd find a new mark on his arm, a new constellation of glowing dots, each one a reminder of the last time he resisted, each one pulsing faintly beneath his skin like a brand. The nights were the worst. When the sun dipped below the horizon and the corn rustled in the darkness, Mason would feel their presence before he even stepped outside. He could hear them, their footsteps crunching on the gravel, their whispers slithering through the stalks. And when he turned to run, it was too late. The tall, skeletal thing was always there waiting for him, blocking the porch steps, barring his way back into the house. Its head would tilt, its black eyes boring into his, and then he'd feel that tug in his gut, that sensation of falling, the dizzying rush of white light as he got pulled inside. He tried fighting back, lashing out with his fists, scratching at the creature's face. But nothing worked. It was like trying to stop a freight train with a pebble, like trying to hold back the tide with a bucket. He knew they were coming for him tonight. He could feel it in his bones, smell it in the air. Tonight they'd drag him inside. Tonight, they'd erase him. And as the tall thing stepped closer, its shadow engulfing him, Mason closed his eyes and waited for the end.